So a lot of you guys were asking, yo, Skills, what build were you running for the Manhunt, and what build have you been running as a solo player on PC since you recently just fully switched over? So you guys know I'm about 1200 shade level, and this is the build that has gotten me through a lot of content. If I don't want to run a one-shot hotshot build, this is that build. So if you're newer, say you're around the 1000 shade level and this is a build, this build might actually work really good for you. And while you see a little bit more gameplay, I do want to talk to you guys about a couple things to pay attention to the build. Number one, not everything is God rolled, and I did that specifically. I thought it was a great way. I could do this build on my main account on PS5, but on PC, I don't have everything God rolled, so I thought it was perfect. Number two is my expertise. It's only 16 on PC, but this weapon's only at 15. So it's something that's doable, especially I'm only shade level 1209. So again, it's something doable for all of you guys as you guys see the build. Okay, I'm about 1000 shade level. He's only a couple above me. Yeah, this is something that I can really look forward to building upon, right? I think around 1000 shade level should be everybody's goal at this point. And then the expertise, that's really up to you, because even at 1000 shade level, you should be at least 14 expertise level if you do it right. And that's just like kind of donating everything, playing the game, doing control points. But yeah, I think this build is definitely something a lot of you guys can put together. The hardest part is really farming the St. Elmo's, get that in countdown, really farming the exotic backpack. Also, you can get that in countdown, and then the name holster, which you can do that in countdown too. So a lot of places you can farm all that stuff. But yeah, this is the build. I really want to get into it so that way you guys can see if it's something you guys want to put together. And some of you guys might already know what build this is if you're a veteran player who's been here a long time. But yeah, this is the build I use for completing the Manhunt, 3 directives on heroic, and pretty much cleared it out one-time run. I did die once, but I was at the checkpoint, and then I was able to clear it out. So, and it was a mistake on my part. But here we go. Let's get into it, guys. So for the weapon, I am running the St. Elmo's engine. Now, this has almost 95,000 total damage. It has 70 in the magazine. That's why I really like this one, especially for this build. I do have 15 expertise on, well, I have 16, but I have 15 expertise on this weapon, so not crazy, not unheard of. You remember 25 is max. Assault rifle, health damage, and damage to targets out of cover. If you go down here, obviously you know the reason I do like the St. Elmo's because the shock ammo that you do get, that will help stop some of those enemies pushing you when you get too many of them. Now, also it comes with 20% crit damage, 30 rounds, 20% weapon handling, and 20% crit chance. Now, I pair this up with the rock and roll. If you have a weapon that gives you some type of survivability, maybe if you get another weapon, maybe a regular ACS and then put preservation on there, or even run something like the mop, this could probably be a little bit more beneficial, just because yes, this helps stack everything, but if you get a kill, it'll give you a little bit more survivability. So that's really up to you. So we are running a 4-piece striker. We have 15% weapon handling, 15% rate of fire, and then Striker's Gamble, and that's why this build is so good. Now we have weapon damage on here, we have critical hit damage, and we have a critical hit damage mod. Now if you look right here, it says 1 stack per loss between 0 and 50 stacks, 2 stacks lost between 50 and 100 stacks. But weapon hits increase total weapon damage by 0.65%, stacking up to 100 times, which makes this so good and probably one of the highest, best DPS builds in the game. Now, I am running 1.5 million armor with 337,000 health. I honestly like 1.5 million armor, especially around the shade level that I'm at. For the chest, I am running the Striker Battlegroove chest, and you can see this reason why we're going with this one. What it's going to do is it's going to move Striker's Gamble stacks from 100 to 200. So that means I can stack up to 200 times. And actually, I think if you're fighting content that's very tanky, this works great. If you're fighting content that you just shred everything way too quick, it's not great. And you might want to put something like Obliterate Chest, but that's up to you. We have armor on here, critical damage, and critical hit chance. Again, if you are running content that you're going shredding through everything, you might want to swap out the chest, put like a Cheska chest. It'll give you 10% crit chance. You have weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, and then you can also have Obliterate on there. But again, I like running this one, especially during the Manhunt. It worked great. And against harder enemies, those tankier enemies, those elite enemies, it works great. I can keep my stacks up pretty well. I am running the Bukaro's holster. This is going to give me 10% skill haste. It gives me armor, crit chance, and it gives me another red core. Since I do want to be around 1.5 million armor, I really like the Bukaro's holster for that piece because I still get some weapon damage, but I'm able to get an armor core too. So I literally get 2 cores. So I'm at 3 reds, 4 blues on this build. And well, technically 4 reds on this build because of the weapon damage here, and then 4 blues, which is pretty solid. For the knee pads, we are running another striker gear piece, and we have weapon damage, critical hit damage. For the gloves, we are running the striker battle gear gloves, and then it's gonna give us armor and crit chance. So you can see I can definitely optimize this. I haven't, so it's not even a perfect build, but just showing something for you guys to see. And then for the backpack, I'm running the Memento backpack. This is weapon damage, armor, skill tier. And then you can see we have critical hit chance here. Now, if you run something like the Ouroboros, because you have it from the incursion, well, then you could probably put crit damage there instead. So right here it says kill confirmed. Obviously, you guys know for every red core, I'm gonna get 15% weapon damage. For every blue core, I'm gonna get 40% bonus armor for 10 seconds, plus the 5% skill efficiency. Now at 30 stack, it's where it's really good, and that's where it really shines. And you guys saw in the gameplay, right? I was able to survive. Having that extra 30% weapon damage at full stacks, 30% skill efficiency, and 3% armor regen is a lifesaver, and it definitely works really good. And then being able to grab those trophies and build those initial stacks is really good. What I'm gonna do real quick, I wanna show you the stats because I know some of you guys wanna know. So we're sitting at 52% crit chance, where I don't like being under 50%, 112% crit damage, 75% headshot damage, and then we have that 10% damage targets out of cover because it's on the St. Elmo's, and 21% health damage. Now if we go to our armor, almost exactly 1.5 with 1.489, so almost 1.5, max health 337,000. We have no armor on kill. Now what I will tell you is I do have the survivalist because I am leveling it up. Ideally, put the gunner class because it's going to give you that 10% armor on kill. So if you're looking for a build to really like push this build, gunner class is going to help you. It's going to give you that 10% armor on kill, which I love. But I had the survivalist, and that mainly was because I'm leveling up. A lot of the things I choose is because I am leveling up. So it's just something for you to keep in mind. But yeah, that's the build right there. I solo now. I run the Reviver Hive almost on everything because you're instantly up. I think it'd be a waste. Before, it would take forever, but now you go down and you're back up, and it makes a huge difference. And then obviously the defendant drone is, I'm leveling up the bombardier drone. Put whatever you want, but I usually run the defendant drone, and that'll give you 26% damage reduction. And then remember, that's gonna improve once you have a max stack. But yeah, that's the build right there. You guys can take a screenshot if you guys want. Remember, you guys can tweak this however you want. If you feel like you're not hitting hard enough, maybe add another red. If you feel like you're not tanky enough, maybe try adding an extra blue. It's really up to you, but Strikers does a lot of things really well. And having some type of survivability with the Memento backpack is the way I like running it. Hey, thanks again. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, nothing but skills out.